I want to introduce you to three very different friends who live in three very different communities. Allie is an art teacher who lives at the beach. Jet is a farmer and lives in a small rural community. Kris works in finance and lives in the big, bustling city. They all met in college, or they all met on vacation at the Grand Canyon. How they met doesn't really matter. What does matter is looking at how some very important federal investments are making their lives and communities better. In this video, we're going to look at how historic investments in clean energy and climate action and infrastructure are positively shaping our communities and how exactly they've done it. So where did these funds come from? President Biden signed into law the largest ever public investment in climate action and clean energy in U.S. history.
There you go, it's now law.
Now, all across the country, projects are underway to make our air and water cleaner, deliver clean and affordable power, and strengthen our resilience to impacts from climate change. Let's take a peek at what this looks like for our three friends. Over on the coast, investments are being made to help protect coastal communities, ecosystems, and infrastructure in the face of growing threats from climate change. Allie can live peacefully knowing she's breathing clean air thanks to the funding for zero-emission equipment, infrastructure, and climate planning at U.S. ports. Now our ports and the communities around them are cleaner than ever. Further down in this coastal town, investments to U.S. fish and wildlife service projects have sparked incredible work to conserve endangered species and advance habitat restoration. Today, Allie took a walk path that traces the outskirts of a protected wetlands area. This morning, she saw a flock of cranes and a family of sandpipers digging for food. What a lovely place to call home. Over in the middle of the country, Jet's rural community is being impacted by these investments as well. Jet's family farm is doing better than ever thanks to the climate-smart agriculture practices they implemented. Their land is thriving with cover crops and trees that help yield great produce for the season. And thanks to the Rural Energy for America program, Jet is also committed to making their farm more energy efficient through upgrading their farm equipment and installing solar power. Investments for rural communities are tackling another tricky pollution problem: orphaned wells. These are former oil and gas wells that often contaminate the water and soil and leak dangerous methane emissions into the air. Luckily, new investments to plug orphaned well sites will reduce harmful emissions and help clean up water contamination, restore native habitats, and create good-paying union jobs for residents. Life is good in this small town. Over in the big city, life moves at a different pace for Kris. On his commute to work, his view of the concrete jungle just got a little greener. The Urban and Community Forestry Assistance Program is providing funds for tree planting projects to increase tree canopies in urban spaces. Now, Kris never has to worry about being late to work thanks to public transportation investments. These investments in things like upgraded elevators and raised platforms make transit more accessible for his commute. All around the city, Kris can see how the investments into zero-emission trucks and buses are helping to make his community a cleaner and greener space. These are just a few examples of how communities around the country are benefiting from federal investments in climate action, clean energy, and infrastructure. Historic investments are building sustainable, resilient, and healthy communities, and improving people's lives right now. And luckily for our three very different friends in three very different places, they can all live in communities with brighter futures.